I'm going to show you how, with this guy, hi. Do you have an Equiband, but you haven't gotten started with it, or you haven't seen the results you want, or maybe you even you've gotten started with the Equiband, but the problem is that you didn't see results fast enough, and so you quit early. And the reality is that if you're going to go to the gym and get in shape, then you have to go more than once. And same goes for these guys. You can't just put the Equiband on once and hope for magical results. Like, it's the exact same thing as you getting in shape. Do you have biceps right now? Because the reality is, if you want biceps, that means you have to go lift heavy things at the gym. If you're not lifting heavy things on a consistent basis, then you will not grow biceps. And that is the exact same thing with these guys, with their abs and with their hind end. And that's what the Equiband can do, but you have to be dedicated for long enough to get those results. So that's why I want to do a 30-day challenge with you guys, where I challenge everybody just to do this for 30 days, see some results, and then you'll be motivated to stick with it, because there is no better motivator than actually seeing your hard work pay off. So I'm going to be referencing a few other videos that I've already made in this video for you guys to go watch so that you know exactly what you need to do. Really? So that you know exactly what you need to do to get results. But for all intents and purposes, I'm going to show you how, with this guy, I'm going to show you why I am using the Equiband on this guy again. We need to do a mini rehab, and that's because of a cut he has on his leg, but it's covered right now, so I'll show you a picture. But the fact is, we need to do a mini rehab for this guy because he's had a bit of time off, and I want to get him a bit more strength back before I put him back to full work. All right, guys, so here are the 5 steps for you to start this 30-day challenge. So the first thing you have to do is you have to see how much strength your horse currently has. Now, I have a video that shows you exactly how to do this, but all you're really going to do is you're going to test their abs and you're going to test their butt, and you're testing how much, lift? Yep, there you go. I don't know if you can see that very well, but you're testing how much lift they get in their back when you contract their abs, and then you're testing how much motion they get in their butt when you make their hind end contract. Now, this is going to tell you how strong your horse currently is. Now, just so you know, when he and I first got started, he had 0 strength. So if your horse doesn't react to the test, all that means is that you are starting from scratch. It's not a problem, not a bad thing, but you have to know where you're starting from, because what we're going to do for the 30-day challenge is every week, at the end of the week, you're going to keep testing it. And once you start seeing your horse's muscles contract because they're getting stronger, then you're going to be like, oh my God, I see it now, and you're going to keep going because you're going to see the results. Okay, so I'm going to attach the video somewhere around here. It'll definitely be in the description below, but it's going to show you exactly how to do these 2 stretches to get a baseline of your horse, how strong they are right now. Okay, so the second thing you need to do is you need to measure your horse. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your Equiband on. Now, you don't have to use it with a saddle. I'm going to ride him, but you can also use it with a surcingle, because you're going to put it on while you're lunging. It's not, you don't have to do it the same way. You can do it however you want. But the important thing is you need to put the saddle pad on, and you need to make sure that it's in the right spot so that you can actually measure. Now, an easy way to do this is you're going to hold your measuring tape at the buckle, and then go halfway under their abs, so 29.5 inches, and same goes for the butt. Sorry, I don't have enough hands to show you exactly, but same goes for the butt. Hold it there, and then go between their legs, and 40.5, so 29.5 and 40.5. What this tells you is 50% of the band tauntness. Now, this is an important number, not right at this exact moment, but when we put it into step 3, which is the Equiband tracker, it's going to tell you everything you need to know. So I also made a longer video about fitting your Equiband, and I'll link that, of course, down in the description below. It'll also be around here somewhere in case you need more specific and lengthy instructions about specifically how to measure the Equiband for your horse. Like I said, I've already made all these videos. I'm just putting together this compilation for this 30-day challenge because I want more people to see results with this thing. It's actually an amazing tool if everybody used it for long enough to see those results. So the third thing is you need to use the Equiband tracker. Now, for this third part, we're going to have to hop in my computer, and I'm going to show you how. What you're going to do is you're going to use, for, in my case, the 29.5 for the abs and the 40.5 for the hind end, and you're going to put those numbers into the Equiband tracker. Now, what that's going to do, the spreadsheet is already set up. If you download it with Google Sheets, it's already set up to do all of the calculations for you because the Equiband tracker is going to tell you how long you need to make the bands to get you started. So, like I said, the Equiband tracker is going to do all the math for you. You don't have to do anything except download your free copy. Of course, that link is down in the description. And there's another video that's going to demonstrate because the Equiband tracker has quite a few sections, tabs. It's got so much in there for you to use. So I want you to watch that whole video because it's going to show you not only how to get the measurements for how tight your band needs to be, but also how to track it over time. So week to week to week, because when you start using the Equiband, then you're going to want to start tightening it. But inevitably, right now I'm telling you where to start out, but inevitably it's going to be like, well, how much do I tighten it? And that is going to come from the Equiband tracker doing the math for you. So step one is you're going to watch the video about how to measure your horse's current strength. Step two, you're going to actually measure your horse for the Equiband. And then step three, you're going to put those measurements into the Equiband tracker so that you know exactly how long that you need to make your bands. Because step four is you're actually going to ride with it on. So like I said, if you're using it on the lunge line, that's totally fine. It doesn't really matter. Even if you're just hand walking with it, doesn't matter. So step four though, is you're going to use it on your horse. And very, very key here, you're going to start with only 10 minutes. Now, over the 30-day challenge, what I'm going to say is if you put it in your horse's routine either 2 or 3 times a week for 10 minutes for the first 2 weeks, and then for 15 minutes for the following 2 weeks, then that is a safe bet that your horse is going to get a significant amount of time with the Equiband if and only if you use it that many times. So what I want you to do down in the comments below is I want you first to make a comment that says, I'm in. I want you to make a comment that declares, I am doing this 30-day challenge. I am committing to putting the Equiband on at least 8 to 12 times. Like, that's not that much, guys. It's not that much, but it can make such a big difference. So I want you to, down in the comments, say, I am committed to doing this for 30 days, just to see what happens. Let's just test it out and see how it goes. But what I also want you to do is every time you use the Equiband, come back to this video and use your own, reply to your own comment and say, I did it, I did it, I did it. It's your own accountability system to be like, if you're going to declare, then I'm going to expect 8 comments under that saying, yes, I did it day 1. Yes, I did it day 2. And not days in a row. It would be like 2 days a week and then over the course of a couple of weeks. And so after the 30 days, which I'm also going to do the 30-day challenge, so you're going to see my comments down below as well, because this horse is recovering from a cut on his leg, and while the cut wasn't like an injury per se, he did really stop working because the cut was quite deep. It was quite significant. So we pretty much, he's pretty much been rehabbing, or he's now going to pretty much have to rehab for all intents and purposes because he stopped working. So 1, how strong is your horse right now? We got to know where you're starting from. 2, measure it So we know how tight the band needs to be, which number 3 is going to tell you because you're going to put the numbers into the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is going to tell you exactly how tight your band needs to be. Number 4 is you're actually going to use it on your horse for 10 minutes for either 2 times a week or 3 times a week, and come back and tell me on this video that you have been keeping up with this challenge. And number 5 is I made a video about the 3 signs where you can tell how much your horse is struggling. So one of the main reasons why people don't get success with the Equiband is that they are either using it and they're not increasing either the duration or the tightness of the bands, and so they're not actually continuing to challenge your horse. And one of the reasons for that is because you don't actually know how much your horse is being challenged. Either that or you over challenge them, and then it'd be like you showing up to the gym and running for 10 miles on a treadmill and you've never run in your life. Then the next day you wouldn't have legs, you wouldn't have, your body would be like, wow, no, never again. And that's the same thing that can happen with your horse. If you push them too far, too fast, then they're going to be like, what are you doing? Absolutely not. So one of the things is that you really want your horse to be on board with the plan. And one of the ways to do that is to start slow. And that means that you start with only 10 minutes. And I promise you that your horse is going to be challenged from those 10 minutes. And this video that I'm going to link down in the description, of course, but it's also going to be linked probably there. But the point is that video is going to show you 3 physical signs that you can look at on your horse who is sleeping. Hi. 3 physical signs that you can look at on your horse that'll tell you how hard your horse is actually working. So those are the 5 steps to getting started with this 30-day challenge. And of course, I made a full online course called the Equi-Course Bootcamp that walks you through not only how to do everything that I just told you in significant more detail, but also how to integrate it into not only your weekly program, because like for instance, your horse may not work as much as this horse. So I walk you through how to actually add those 2 or 3 days into your full workout of the week, without overwhelming your horse, without injuring your horse, because if you did go to the gym and run 10 miles on a treadmill and you've never run before, there's a very real possibility that you injure something. That's not something you just show up and do. So this is the official 30-day challenge. I want to see if I can get you guys just to get a little bit of results, and then what'll happen is you'll be ready and primed for the Equi-Course Bootcamp, because then that's going to tell you how to take 30 days of results and turn it into 6 months of results, which is what took this horse from injured and the vet telling me that he was never going to even run another prelim again, back up to a 3-star. So this horse is a walking, talking example of what can happen if you actually use the Equiband to rehab your horse properly. And I think that the problem is that people just don't stick it out for long enough. But that's not going to be you, because you have this 30-day challenge. So I will see you in the comments. And believe me, if you come and say, I am in, I will be tracking you down there and seeing how you do on this 30-day challenge. I'm really excited to hear all the results you guys are going to get. And it's one thing to commit, but once you start seeing the results, you will start showing up all on your own. I won't have to convince you anymore, because you're going to see the results for yourself and you're going to say, this is why I'm doing this, because I can see how much easier it is for you to move when you have butt muscles. I can see how much easier it is for you to work in a round shape on the flat when you have abs, because it's literally lifting up in their belly, which makes their top line round. So it's funny because these 2 muscle groups, the people who actually built the Equiband clearly knew horses. They knew horse anatomy. They knew exactly what they needed to build to help horses be the best that they can be. However, they also clearly weren't athletes. No offense, guys. They were clearly scientists and not athletes. And the thing is that you can build this tool all you want, right? The person who invented the treadmill, yeah, that person was mechanically like, why would you need to run outside? Why wouldn't we just run inside? That person was mechanically thinking about how to solve the problem. However, they don't promise immediate results, because you still have to run on the treadmill. You still have to build a program. You still have to increase the challenge every single week to week. And you still have to do all the things that actually makes a workout plan successful. And that's where you need an actual athlete, because athletes are programmed to not only work within the system of a fitness schedule, but how to build up and challenge over time. So I'm excited to see how you guys do on this 30-day challenge, and I'll see you on the other side and down in the comments. And don't forget, all the links are down below in the description, and including the one to the Equiband Bootcamp. If you want to just go straight for the bootcamp, then that link is down below in the description. And if you ever wanted my help one-on-one with, building out your program, then there's a link for that as well. But either way, no matter how it goes, I will see you on the other side of this 30 days. Good luck!